So, reporting live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia, it is the Undisputed GOAT podcast round three. Round three. Shout out to everybody in Columbus. Shout out to everybody all over the place. Shout out to people all over the world joining us live on YouTube and Facebook, simultaneous broadcast. Y'all know what it is. We got the most awesome panel in the world here tonight. Started with my main man, BRL Sports. How you doing today, brother?
Champ, we always living good. We always living lovely. Always representing. You know, I love doing these with you. How you living, bro?
I'm living good down here in Columbus, Georgia. And we got the little homie, Aiden. How you doing, Aiden?
I felt a little bit down last night, but today I'm up today, so we good.
All right. And last but not least, my main man, my favorite wrestler, my brother from another mother, Luis Knows Tunes. How you doing, Luis?
Y'all see the delicacy right here.
And he has the PS1. Zoom in on that. Classic.
The PS2 is classic too.
We got
on the big screen right now. Oh man, he went all out with that one.
Look at that.
He got the classic
Street Fighter Alpha in here. Beautiful.
Oh man, the original Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Hey, since we're on that subject at this point in time, let's start off. As we all know, the NFL awards are tonight. As we also know, Wrestlemania, Road to Wrestlemania, we will be discussing all of those things. But first, I want to set the tone with one thing only. As we all know, we're all gamers here. We all love our games. We all love nostalgia. So I want to know, which one would you roll with? You rolling with Sega and Super Nintendo? And for the viewers that don't know what either of these systems is, you know, if we have a younger audience coming into the night, let's set the tone by showing them a couple small clips from our childhood, BR. If you know we can relate to this all the way live.
Boy, what you talking about?
Let's go ahead and show them a few clips that we can relate to at this moment. And if they're trying to see that Super Nintendo, we can always do that for them as well.
Is your memory card set correctly?
Oh no!
Man, when I tell you that brings back great memories, man, it brings back hell of a memories, man. Hey, man, imagine it being Friday night in the 90s. Your report card's good. You just ordered a big fat Domino's pizza or Pizza Hut pizza, whichever one of your choice, and you are sitting down to play one of these hellified classic systems, man. It just didn't get no better than that back in the 90s, man. So I will start with my main man, BRL Sports, man. How you doing, man? Let's go ahead. Which one are you taking, man, and why?
And well, before I answer, and to add on to that, not only that, the report cards are good, and then you want to go rent you a game or something, and you hit up that Blockbuster close to you.
For me in the early 2000s, it was Hollywood Video over here.
Oh my gosh! Oh.
Hollywood Videos.
It was Hollywood Video over here on the Upper East Coast.
Hey man, you know what? I don't think they got a good look at that. Let's run that back one more time.
Uh-oh.
Let's run that Super Nintendo back one more time.
Is your memory card set correctly?
Oh no!
Man, all of those were classics in their own right, man. But back to you, BRS, man. Which one you taking, brother?
I own both, but I gotta go. I was more of a Sega guy growing up. I was more Sega. Sega, I don't know what it was. I don't know. It was like the controller. To me, the graphics I think were a little better on the Sega. The Sega just did it for me. Like Sonic, like the sports games. Like one of my favorite sports games growing up was a World Series baseball. Because it was just like because the graphics just looked so good and they animated the stadiums like so. Even though it was Sega graphics, I mean, it was kind of like ahead of its time as far as like, you know, the graphics and how the details and everything in the gameplay itself. And then just like Street Fighters and the Mortal Kombats and so many memories when you show those clips. I was more of a Sega guy though. Sega was my jam. I would roll Sega if you had to give me one. It'd have to be the Sega.
Okay then. All right then. Aiden, I know you're a little young man, but which one would you choose, brother?
I did play with a little Nintendo. I think it was a little Nintendo free NDS. It was like the one that was like vertical, kind of like rectangular shape. I'm going with Nintendo. Honestly, I never played with Sega.
Okay, no problem. And last but not least, Louise, man.
Man, I gotta go with Frank, man. Sega is just unmatched. You got Sonic, you got NBA Jam, you got one of my favorite series, Jet Set Radio. Listen, I'm Frank. I'm a little surprised because you didn't mention my two favorite beat 'em ups of all time, man. I'm a little sad you didn't mention Altered Beast. Altered Beast is a classic.
Ultra Beast is fun.
And then
it was fun.
You didn't mention the Golden Axe series.
I'd never played the Golden Axe series.
What?
Wow, you never played Golden Axe?
I never played Golden Axe, but I did play Streets of Rage though.
Streets of Rage, another great one.
I played Streets. I never played Golden Axe. I did play Ultra Beast. Like Streets of Rage to me is one of the most slept on franchises of all time. Those games were so much fun. So much fun.
Damn, really never played Golden Axe.
I really never played it.
You got to change that, man. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, we got to change that, man.
I'm gonna have to.
It was even better in arcade, though, man. The people don't even realize that it was not only good on the Sega console. It was even better in arcade. You know, when you think about Death Eater, the Revenge of Death Eater in the arcade, man, it was one of the most exciting franchises of all time, man. Not to mention, man, you got to think about this, man. I don't know. Sega had some of the best sports games you ever want to have.
Bro,
when you think about NFL Sports Talk Football, when you think about, EA Sports essentially started their franchise on Sega. They didn't start on Super Nintendo. They were strictly a Sega franchise. So NFL Sports Talk Football, then you had the golf game that was very, very slept on. That was very, very slept on. And the first Dream Team game came out actually on Sega.
If we go a little further into the 2000s, Shenmue was a really, really slept on franchise as well.
Yeah.
Love Shenmue. Like I said, Jet Set Radio, another phenomenal one. Sega's so good.
Yeah, Sega. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And there's probably a bunch. There's probably a bunch of more games that I didn't name.
Power Stone on the Dreamcast, another great one. Soul Calibur actually got his big break on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, arcades.
And it was Soul Blade. It was Soul Blade instead of Soul Calibur.
Man, that game was so fun in the arcades. I love Soul Calibur in the arcade. Oh
man, let me break something down, man. Not to mention, man, all the racing games you had at arcade by Sega. It's unfortunate that
Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast.
Yes, I'm glad y'all stated that because Crazy Taxi is about to be re-released.
They need to do it.
You getting that, Chip? You getting that?
Yeah, I'm getting Crazy Taxi, man. I got to get that. Streets of Rage is being re-released. Golden Axe is being re-released. A lot of those games are being re-released, man. So for those games to be coming back out, man, and for the nostalgia to be part of childhood, for the nostalgia to be here now I'm a grown man and I can buy all of this stuff and I ain't got to ask no question. Hey, it is what it is, man. I got to buy it, man. Take my money right now.
Boy, they make an 11, 12-year-old us smile, bro.
Yeah. Hey, man, but let's not sleep on Super Nintendo, though, man. I got to say this. Hey, man, Final Fight, Killer Instinct.
You got the entire Mario series.
The entire Mario series.
Hey, Super Mario All-Stars, just to name a few.
Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, you got all of that just to name a few. It's a lot of great things that happened during the Sega franchise. It was crazy.
Wave Race 64.
Yes. Hey, man, let's go back to the original Nintendo, man. Remember Punch Out? Mike Tyson's Punch Out, man?
Boy, yes.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Did any of y'all ever beat Punch Out?
Nope.
I don't think anybody could ever beat Mike Tyson.
I didn't have the patience.
I remember the one game the two games I was incredibly close to beating on the Super Nintendo. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I was close, but I could never beat Sagat. Never beat Sagat. And the second game was Dr. Mario. Always got super close, but never beat Dr. Mario. Never beat it.
Yeah.
Never beat it.
Hey, remember Yoshi's Island?
Oh yeah.
Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi Story on the N64.
Yoshi Cookie.
The Super Mario, the Lost Levels one.
Yeah, the Lost Level. Look, funny situation about that. Y'all know that they did not release that until Super Mario All-Stars came out because it was deemed too challenging for the United States. You had guys overseas that couldn't even beat it. So it was deemed too challenging for us over here.
That's crazy.
So, and rightfully so. I never beat the Lost Levels. I mean, did anybody on here beat the Lost Levels?
No. No.
Because I never beat the Lost Levels. Hey man, Zelda, don't forget Zelda.
Oh, Zelda's great. Zelda.
Hey. So I have to ask this question to the panel now that we're on the out of a lot of the classic system, we'll start with not with PlayStation, we'll go back from PlayStation because PlayStation took it to a whole other level.
Yeah.
From PlayStation on back, what is the best game you have played? We'll start with you, Ada.
But
What is the best game you've ever played as far as retro systems are concerned?
I don't know, to be honest.
It's all right, bro. It's all right, little bro. Louise?
Best game I ever played in terms of retro systems. That's a hard question. So we're taking PlayStation out the equation.
Yeah, taking PlayStation out of the equation.
Honestly, I might have to go on the Sega Dreamcast, and I might have to say Power Stone. Power Stone.
Power Stone.
I think Power Stone is one of the most underrated fighting game franchises that don't get talked about. I think the concept was great. Thought the power ups great. I thought the characters were great. I always played with Falcon. He was a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can take a little bit back to the GameCube days. I mean, you got Smash Melee, Smash Brothers Melee, and then like I said, WWE Day of Reckoning 2. That was another great one. WrestleMania X8. So there's a lot. I can go on for hours.
Hey, while we at it, Trey, what's going on, man? How you doing? Just joining the show. How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
Hey, man, we was on the subject of which one do you want, either Sega or Super Nintendo. And since we gave everybody else the build-up video, we're going to give you the build-up video as well. Or
Is your memory card set correctly?
Oh no!
so which one you taking, Trey? You taking Super Nintendo or Sega, bro?
I'm going to say probably Super Nintendo.
For real? Why is that?
Because I think that was like one of the first games I ever played. Was the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. So what was your favorite game on Super Nintendo, bro?
I think it was one of the Mario games. I forgot exactly which one it was because it's been so long.
Yeah. Hey, man, as far as my favorite game of all time, man, it has to be Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2, when they implemented the combo system, when you had Max, Axel, named after Axel Rose from the Guns N' Roses band, Blaze, and then not to mention Skate, riding on them skates, trying to doing a stroll and beat them up. But that was nothing cooler, man. I'll never forget my cousin, shout out to my cousin, man. I'll never forget Christmas Day, he got that game for Christmas. And I never forget, he came over, and it took us 4 nights to beat that game because we put it on the hardest level we possibly could to see if we could beat it. But we never did. We didn't beat it to the 4th night. So, but hey, man. Hey, as we all know, the NFL awards are on. As we all know right now, the NFL awards are on. We will be covering it as it is happening. So any awards that are gotten during this broadcast, we will be bringing that to you live and in living color. you can best believe we will bring it to you on the Undisputed Podcast live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia. You can best believe that we will get that done for you. Like I said, like it says on the ticker, live from the greatest city in America, Columbus, Georgia. So with that being said, we all know what's coming up this week. We all know what's coming up this week. The granddaddy of them all, the bowl games of all bowl games, an unofficial national holiday, the Super Bowl. It don't get any bigger. It just don't get no larger. The stakes don't get no higher than the Super Bowl. So with that being said, man, what are some of the keys to victories that y'all think are going to be in the Super Bowl, man? What do you think is going to be one of the most incremental things that each team has to do in order to come up with a win? And we'll start with you, Trey. What do you think Kansas City or the San Francisco 49ers are going to have to do to come out with a win today, man?
First of all, what Kansas City is really going to have to really do is run the ball at San Francisco 49ers in their defense. Put them in a bind and make them have to come up with another plan. And as far as San Fran goes, yeah, Kyle Shanahan, don't put the ball in Brock Purdy's hands. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Why don't you want the ball in Brock Purdy's hands? I mean, hasn't he proven? Not trying to interrupt, but hasn't he proven over the course of the last two games that he is willing and capable of coming back and delivering and bringing the team to a victory? Hasn't he proven that already?
I mean, yeah, but this is different. It's like yeah, you did it last week and all. You did it last week, and I understand that. But bro, I just can't. Them last two Super Bowls, I just feel like, bro. I just feel like Brock Purdy is gonna make a crucial mistake, and it's gonna cost him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Luis, what do you think is the big key to victory going into the Super Bowl, brother?
All right, so for me, on the San Francisco side, keep doing what got you there. Keep feeding CMC. That is still your best player. You still got to feed CMC. I know a lot of people want San Francisco to attack George Kittle, but I'm a big believer if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Chip, you said many times, when you give CMC the ball 20 times, they win the game. Don't move away from the formula that got you there. If you have to feed George Kittle and you absolutely have to do so, then okay, that's fine. But in the beginning of the game, do what got you there. Keep feeding CMC. That man's a problem. On the coaching side for San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan, if you see anything immediately that you don't like it, or if you see something that gives KC some momentum, you got to fix that incredibly fast because Andy Reid is not going to take his foot off the gas. Don't be John Harbaugh. Don't sit there the entire game and make no adjustments. If you see something you don't like, make the adjustments fast because Andy Reid is that guy. As for Kansas City side, I think the main thing is going to be them catching the ball. And if they don't catch the ball, San Francisco is going to eat them alive. That's the main thing. And I know we've heard sports talk and other people have said, Kansas City this entire playoffs have dropped less than 4% of the passes. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But, each game is different. They can be on a drop fest in the Super Bowl. So they definitely need to catch the ball. And for the offensive line, they played great against Baltimore. But like I said, every game is different. Definitely watch what side Joe Tooney is supposed to be on because he's not going to – I don't think he's going to play. So definitely, if I'm Andy Reid, I'm keeping a close line on that offensive line. I'm going to try my best to scheme up some screen passes or whatever just to make sure, we got some shaking off the jitters, get some catches going just to get my receivers confidence and things like that. And as for the defensive end on Kansas City, pressure as fast as you can. You got to get some crazy pressure because the more time – I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good. We got time.
But if I'm Kansas City, I need to get pressure on Brock Purdy fast because Brock Purdy definitely has proven that he can make he can make something out of nothing. But he hasn't proven that he can do that consistently. He's proven he can do it. He hasn't done it on a consistent basis, though. So if I'm Kansas City, get pressure to the quarterback fast. I'm getting pressure to the quarterback, and I'm trying to make his life a living hell, and I'm trying to throw him off his game. So if they can try to throw Brock Purdy off his game, then the defense is going to eat. So those are the two things, or things on both sides that I would do.
Okay. Frank, let's hear it.
Keys to victory. All right. Well, starting off on the Kansas City side, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of what San Francisco loves to do on the defense, which is honestly they love to rush the passer. So I'm giving them plenty of Isaiah Pacheco early, particularly quarterback draws up the middle. I'm using San Francisco's. They want to pin their ears back and they want to go. So I'm using Isaiah Pacheco early and often. Screen passes, quarterback, halfback draws. I'm using San Francisco's pass rushing momentum against them, and I'm trying to establish them early. That way, you have the play action there, so Patrick Mahomes can get the ball out to Travis Kelce. And his receivers have been playing a lot better in this postseason, but they got to keep it going. You got one more game, particularly. This is how I feel about this game. Like usually with the Super Bowl, there's usually like an unsung kind of unknown player that kind of comes out of nowhere and makes a big impact for whoever wins the game. And a guy I'm looking at who is being activated for this game is Sky Moore. Watch out for Sky Moore. His speed and his ability to take the top off of a defense, particularly from the slot position. Look out for Sky Moore on like a play action or like a skinny post, something deep, hitting, attacking the safeties. I would watch out for him being activated for this game. So I'm looking at Isaiah Pacheco establishing, pretty much dictating that whole pace. Everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes. I think Isaiah Pacheco is their key. Opens up the middle, opens up everything Kansas City is going to want to do with the pass. As far as San Francisco goes, I mean, it's like Louise said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's CMC. You got. I mean, he is your best player. In my opinion, he's probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, you got to you got to feed him. You got to make sure he's getting his touches. If there's ever a game where I can see CMC getting literally 25, 30 touches, this would be a game. You have to find a way to establish him. And even though this may be the weakest the Kansas City offense has been in the last few years, you still kind of want to keep them off of the field because with Patrick Mahomes, anything is possible. Anything is possible with Patrick Mahomes. So you have to establish CMC early. I think George Kittle can have a field day in the middle against that linebacking core because he's been playing really, really, really good football. I think he could have a good game against their linebackers. So I'm looking at it, like I agree with Luis on the San Francisco side. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You make sure CMC gets that ball. You got to set the tone. You can't allow Kansas City, because Kansas City is going to try to make Brock Purdy beat them. And if you're San Francisco, even though Brock Purdy's proven it, I feel like this is a whole nother stage. And I think Kansas City's defense just has a knack to make big plays in certain situations with the game on the line, particularly in playoff situations. So Christian McCaffrey's got to take some pressure off of Brock Purdy to be able to, when it's time to throw the ball, Brock Purdy can operate with space, with their offensive line playing well. He's got to be able to operate. So those are pretty much my keys to victory for both teams.
Hey, key to victory for me will always be that bad man, Christian McCaffrey. Because if they are able to get him going, like I know they can, and give him the ball, how many times, Louise?
20 times.
At least 20 times, they will be able to win the game. And not only that, set up that play action pass and get that Kansas City Chiefs defensive mind off of Brock Purdy at this point, and take that pressure off Brock Purdy so that he doesn't have to go out and win the game and be up under the pressure that he's been under the last two games. But I digress. We got the little homie back. Aiden, what's going on, man? What do you think the keys to victory is in order for each team to win the Super Bowl, brother?
If you look at Kansas City's side of things, honestly, if Kansas City wants to win this, their defense is going to have to overpower the 49ers offense. That's kind of the only way that this can go. That offense is going to have to drive down the field, try to get down there and score a lot against that Niners defense, which is going to be hard to do. And then if you look at the defensive side for the Kansas City Chiefs, how are you going to block or stop that Kansas City offense that's really, really good? Because these got because they've shown that they're a really good team, especially on the NFC side. The Niners have, and their defense and their offense is gonna probably annihilate the Chiefs.
Okay. So, on that note, right now we are paying attention also back to the NFL Championship Award, back to the NFL Awards tonight. Like I said, we will be broadcasting the awards for as long as we're on the air at this point. And as we find out who is winning the award right now, we will be broadcasting it live during this telecast. I guarantee you we will be doing that. And right now, the rookie of the year, the offensive rookie of the year is none other than the great CJ Stroud from the Houston Texans. What do you feel about that, guys?
Not surprised at all. Probably probably the easiest award of the night.
Well deserved, baby.
Well,
Very well.
if you hear the way CJ Stroud talks in his post-game interviews, like he's literally now the embodiment of Houston. Like he loves the city. It's not only what he does on the stat sheet. Like he genuinely wants to go out there and win and change the city. And with his faith in doing that, it's translating on the football field. When have we seen? I'm sorry, I was eating, but when have we seen a rookie come in, bad situation, rookie head coach, come in, win a division, win a playoff game against one of the better teams in the AFC, and just have a season like this? And to put even more context, we don't know what his numbers would have looked like if he played the full season. He missed like 4 games.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
I think it was
insane, but well deserved.
What do you think?
And Stroud has those X factor wide receivers that he can work with also. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Those are the 2 main players on their team that were really, really good this year working together with Stroud. And he deserves this award, to be honest, because Stroud, we didn't think much of him in the draft whenever he was going to come to the team that he was going to get drafted to. But whenever he came to the Texans, I thought that he wasn't going to really do great because of that offensive line and ain't going to be doing that much great blocking. But the offense, it stepped up, especially with the wide receivers. O-line stepped up, and Stroud showed that he deserves to be a offensive rookie of the year. I think he deserves this award.
All right. Hey, yo, shout out to my main man, Brandon from the block, man. Don't forget, man, to check out the Throwdown every Monday, the football edition, and Wednesday, the basketball edition. Hey, bro, it got real. Hey, man, look here. If you want high class and pizzazz, pay attention to the Monday show. If you're trying to get real bad, then you got to pay attention to the Wednesday show, because on that Wednesday show, it can get real ugly real fast. But shout out to Brandon from the block and the entire chat, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Hey, man, holler at your boy. So he laughing about it. Hey, man, look, if y'all don't believe me, go like and subscribe, Brandon from the block on YouTube, the Throwdown, and you can see how bad that it gets on basketball days. On football days, it's real subtle, real relaxed. But when it comes to baskall, it get ugly like the space table at the family reunion, baby.
It's like everybody's knowledge goes out the window. Everybody's knowledge go out the window.
I will say, if the Chiefs lose this week, Sports Talk is gonna get a lot of talking from me this Monday if I'm allowed to come on. Because that man's gonna get cooked like a 3. That man's gonna get cooked.
If the Chiefs win this Super Bowl, guess what? Every San Francisco 49 fan you getting cooked ASAP.
I don't think both teams deserve to get cooked. That man, they both great teams.
So, hey, as we're talking, the defensive NFL, the defensive rookie of the year awards is being presented. So, who wins? Let's see.
I'm hoping Devon Witherspoon, but I think they gave it to Jalen Carter.
I would not give it to Jalen Carter. I would go either Will Anderson or Devin Witherspoon.
Will Anderson is a sleeper pick. And Kobe Turner's another sleeper.
I give defensive rookie of the year to Jalen Carter.
I want Devon Witherspoon. The way he changed that Seattle secondary.
It didn't show who got it. But hey, man, Sports Sauce, look out! You got some competition in the wings. And you even got Brandon from the block laughing right about now. But as we take a break from the NFL awards as they're happening right now as we speak, man, you got to go. We are going from the keys to victory to the prediction. Now, you can't have the game without the prediction. You can't have the game without the outcome, man. So I have to know, in the great words of Doja Cat, I need to know, who is your Super Bowl pick? Trey, set the tone, baby.
I got the Kansas City Chiefs. It's gonna be real close. It's not gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be close, but I got Kansas City putting it off at the end.
All right. AC, Aiden, what's going on? Let us know what you think about it.
Oh, sorry. I was sleeping because of that terrible pick. For Niners 30-27. I hate the Chiefs.
I just noticed what he did. I just noticed what he did.
Nah.
That's crazy.
Nah.
That's crazy.
I hate the Chiefs after what they did to the fucking Ravens. Lose 30-27. Let's go Niners.
He
All
said,
right.
he
The little homie got a little gangster in him, bro.
Oh,
Hey, he said pick. He said pick. I'm like, is he
I
gonna
mean,
fantasy
Hey,
draft
I
me
understand they beat us in the championship game, but I don't hate him. I don't hate them as much as he does. Oh my god!
Hey, little homie don't like them Kansas City Chiefs for beating them in the championship game.
boy.
Hey, Frank,
Yes,
my
you
other
know
Georgia
what
boy,
you're
how you doing, man? Go ahead and give us your Super Bowl prediction.
Oh boy, Aiden's got potential. Aiden's got a future. That's
Hey,
all
man,
I'm gonna say.
class, charisma.
That's
Hey, man,
what Louis
class,
said
charisma,
the first time I ever
everything,
went
bro.
on a sports PSP.
Okay, so it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be close. I think this is gonna be one of the higher scoring games of the playoffs. I got 34. I got 34-30 KC, just because I just feel like, I don't know. Me and Luis, we keep saying it over and over and over again. Until you show me you can beat Patrick Mahomes in a big time game with some stuff on the line, I'm not picking against him. I got 34-30 KC, and I got
He's
Patrick
gonna
Mahomes.
be high scoring like
I
that.
think it's going to be high scoring. I really do.
Damn.
I think it's going to be high scoring. I got
With those
34-30.
defenses, you think he was going to be high scoring?
34-30.
I think it's going to be. Hey, it would.
Hey,
I
Kansas
mean,
City and Philadelphia surprised us last year.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't think the game was going to be that high scoring. Last year it was 38-35. So I mean,
Nice.
It's one of the greatest
That
games we've
mean,
seen,
well, you know what that means, right? That means lead the defenses at home. This ain't that type of game.
too. Hey man, lead the defenses at home.
Lead a defense
I
at
think it's
home.
I think it's going to be one of them lead defenses on the plane. Bring your offense, bring your lunch. We finna go to work. I think that's what's about to go down. I think that's what's about to go down. I feel like with Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan, the minds they have as far as the offensive side of the ball, I think they're going with 2 weeks to prepare. They're gonna have something cooked up. That's why I feel like it's gonna be one of them defenses. I'm sorry, but tonight ain't for y'all.
I think Kansas City got a little secret weapon in their back pocket, who I'm not gonna mention.
Pacheco.
Hey,
No. One of their former coaches.
Eric Bieniemy.
hey, you just never know. And we got to go to the chat for a little bit. Let's see. My main man, Sports PSP, live from Brick City. You know what I'm saying? Live from Brick City, live from Jersey, the New Jersey Devil himself. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe to my main man. 49ers 20, Chiefs 17. Hey, picking the 49ers. Hey, secondly, man, shout out to PSP number 2, man.
Shout
Like
out.
and subscribe to his channel as well, man. Not to mention, man, tune in tomorrow, man. He got a hell of a show lined up for every last one of y'all. Y'all, hey man, if you want to watch something good on Friday night, get you a cup of Joe or get you a cup of whatever you would like. And go check out the Sports PSP podcast, man.
Shout out PSP.
Hey, shout out to PSP. Hey, and for me, last but not least, hey man, I'm gonna say this. This was for you, Pops. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers. My father has always been a 49ers fan. He kind of left them alone a little bit after they got rid of Harbaugh. But I will say this. I think this is finally the day for Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers. And the quest for 6 will be complete this coming Sunday. My prediction, 34-30. The Super Bowl MVP will be none other than Mr. Irrelevant himself, Brock Purdy. He will throw for 300 yards and at least 2 touchdowns.
Huh?
I think they both getting. I think they both getting at least 300. To be honest with you,
302 touchdowns.
And like I said,
ordinary.
So, and we're back. And you know what? Like, let's take a break from the Super Bowl. We're going back
Whoa.
to the NFL awards. Hey, Miles
Just saw who
Garrett.
won. Miles
Yeah.
Garrett
wow,
has officially won the Defensive Player of the Year award. Hey,
Told you.
shout out. Hey, man, look here.
that's
Told
a
you.
shocker to me.
Shout out to my
Told
boy
you.
Trent, man, because
Trent.
he has been telling us this all year long. Trent has been telling us this all year long, and it's very deserving. Hey,
Long
Miles
overdue.
Garrett has been getting double teamed all year long. So, and he's the most double teamed person in the NFL at this point.
And to
So-
still put up the numbers he puts up is ridiculous.
Yeah. And man, look here, man. Stats don't
I
always
have
tell
it on the
the story.
screen right now.
Is what?
I have it on our screen right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like I said, I'm looking at it as we broadcast. So,
Yeah,
hey
and
man, look,
everybody was telling
Miles
me
Garrett,
like,
most deserving player. Not to mention, man, that defense carried that team this year for the Cleveland Browns, man.
Certainly
They went
did.
through 4 different quarterbacks before they were even able to settle in on Joe Flacco, man. So for him to win, it's nothing short of flat out amazing, man. Shout out to Miles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for the remainder of the night at the NFL Honors Awards. And for as long as we are on this broadcast, we will be telling you who is winning the NFL Honors Award, man. We have the Rookie of the Year already in C.J. Stroud, and we have the Defensive Player of the Year in Miles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns, man.
So-
hey, like and subscribe. Hey,
Also, I just want to give a quick shout out, Max Crosby. Your time is coming too, bro. Your time is coming.
Yes,
You
indeed.
were great this year as well.
And
Hey,
I got one more thing. Rumor has it, I saw some Twitter stuff. Rumor has it, if this is true, I'm getting on everybody on TikTok head. If Devin Hester gets in the hall, I'm getting on everybody's head, just straight up.
I've been waiting. He should have been first ballot in my opinion.
Yeah, he should have.
yeah,
'Cause
I heard.
okay, look here. We're gonna wing this
Oh my
thing a little bit. We're gonna wing this thing a little bit. This is live TV. This is like Monday Night Raw, but with an added twist. Who do y'all think is most deserving of the Hall of Fame this year, man? We'll start
Devin
with you,
Hester.
Frank.
Well, I'm gonna start. Well, everybody's gonna say David Hester. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna say a different name, Julius Peppers.
That's who I was gonna say. That's who I was gonna say. Yes, I agree with you 150% on that one.
Wait, who are the people that are the finalists?
Okay, let me get it for you, Aiden, just so we can go ahead and get you that real quick. Hold on,
All right.
I'm gonna get it for you. No problem, little bro. Let's go ahead.
I know
Hey,
Antonio
I'm gonna
Gates,
give you.
Devin
I'm gonna give you
Hester.
another. I'm gonna give you another.
Okay,
Name. I'm gonna give
Eric
you another name.
Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Jaree Evans, Dwight Freeney, Antonio Gates, Randy Gradishar, Rodney Harris, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Steve McMichael, Bubba Parker, Julius Peppers, Art Powell, Fred Taylor, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson.
I personally want to say.
Those are some good damn Hall of Fame players.
I personally want to say before any wide receiver gets inducted, it has been a disservice that Torrey Holt has not been in the Hall of Fame yet.
I agree with that too.
Put Torrey Holt in immediately. I think the most consecutive seasons with 1,300 yards, like seven straight.
Something like that.
Like that's ridiculous. Wow, he was part of the greatest show on turf. Like, come on, man, it's ridiculous.
I agree with that. I don't think no other receiver should get in before him. I agree with that. I think that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, look here. I'm going to continue to beat the drum for Andre Johnson. From where? The U. So, hey, man, look here, man. Andre Johnson did not have any consistent quarterback play during his time at the Houston Texans, man. None. He had Matt Sharp for a few years, but he didn't have any type of real consistent quarterback play throughout his year.
Wow.
And I hate that Matt Shaw was stolen from us, especially during that down year where we lost Michael Vick to a lot of off the field issues, and we'll leave it at that. So, hey man, I have to go with Andre Johnson on this, man. Got to go with Andre Johnson. I think he is the most deserving. Hey man, at his peak, Andre Johnson was flat out
Oh my God. He actually won.
Who won?
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
Wow.
From where?
Wow.
Will Anderson
From
won Defensive
where?
Rookie of the
The
Year.
University of Alabama. The kid from Alabama won, man.
I said Will Anderson, man. I figured it was gonna be him or Devin Witherspoon. So, hey, man,
Houston got to be turning up
Houston-
right now.
Houston
The city
gotta
got to be turned.
Houston is lit,
I gotta
bro.
ask you this.
They pulled the New
almost
York
every single
Jets.
player they won.
They pulled the New York Jets. They swept the awards for the rookies.
Yeah.
Boy, they lit. Houston lit, man.
Hey, but I gotta ask you this, Frank, because you know this better than anybody. So I'm gonna direct this question towards you and you alone.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that CJ Stroud has the potential to be better than one of our favorite quarterbacks that we saw play as a child? Do you think that he has the potential to be better than Warren Moon?
Ooh.
And can his popularity exceed that of Warren Moon during his time in Houston?
Man, boy. It's hard to gauge just off of 1 year. I mean, even though it was a killer year, I don't know, man. Warren Moon was a different breed, and just the adversity he faced, like even going into the NFL, like wanting to switch to wide receiver and all this stuff, and then going to Canada, balling the way he did, winning the Grey Cups, and then going to the NFL and just like not losing the step, just continue putting up numbers. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to go that far. I mean, he's got CJ's got the potential to be a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but Warren Moon status, give me another 3 to 4 years before I can really gauge that.
Okay, hold on. All right, Dan. Hey, shout out to PSP once again. Hey, CJ Offensive Rookie of the Year. I said it on Brandon's pod, and he most certainly did. Warren Moon was transcendent, and that's absolutely right.
He's right.
Big shout out to my man PSP. Hey,
I don't know if these stats are good, but Will Anderson had like 16 assisted tackles and 7 sacks. I don't know if those are good stats.
Considering the position Houston was in, and his role, it is well deserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got another. And wait a minute, Frank.
Right, go ahead.
I didn't interrupt.
Oh no.
We have
Go ahead.
another question from the great PSP. Hey, Louise, CJ or Justin Herbert?
I have to go CJ Stroud, man. I think if I'm taking a quarterback right now, I'm taking the man who stepped up the most immediately, made the most out of his situation, and completely took over. I'm gonna go CJ Stroud.
Okay, no problem. My main man, Big Frank. Tell us what's on your mind, brother.
But no, I was just going to say, I don't think the stats tell the full story of how dominant Will Anderson was this year for that Houston defensive line. I mean, the way he was setting the edge, being able to stop the run, even though he only had 7.5 sacks. I mean, his ability to pass rush just set the tone for Houston's defense, even though stat-wise, they might not have been the greatest. I mean, stats don't always tell the story of the way defenses work sometimes. And I think Will Anderson was 7.5 sacks just don't tell the story of how much of a disruptor he was for Houston this year. I think he was like the only real threat on that defensive line, and he just showed up and showed out every week. I mean, yeah, like I said, they don't tell the whole story. Will Anderson definitely deserved defensive rookie. I would have went him or Devin Witherspoon, but I'm not mad they gave it to I'm not mad they gave it to Will Anderson. He definitely deserves it.
Okay. No problem, man. Hey, man, broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world, Columbus, Georgia, and all over the world, man, in different regions of the United States of America. but especially here in Columbus, Georgia. Shout out to Columbus, shout out to Rose Hill Seafood. Respect that dub at all time. Columbus, if you're not from Columbus, you do not know what I mean when I say that, but respect that dub at all times. Hey, so we're gonna skip right over the NFL, but we will be coming back as the awards start pouring in. We're gonna go to another realm, a whole another realm. We gotta blow out the candles and spill the whole birthday cake on. We're gonna go right from the NFL to another combat sport that we all love, the WWE. Now, I'm gonna say this. All week long, we thought that it was about to finish the story. And we thought that one match in particular was about to happen. We thought literally this was going to happen. But come to find out, it looks more and more likely that it looks like this is going to happen right here. The Rock, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes.
Champ, I got to stop you there.
Yeah.
Because I watched the press conference, and within the press conference, I got to inform you that during the press conference, Cody Rhodes has made it official at WrestleMania. It will be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Universal Championship.
Okay, then. But do you think that The Rock may intervene and then maybe become a triple threat match?
Oh, he's already intervening. That you have to watch the press conference that they had today. He's already intervening.
Okay. So it will be a triple threat match.
I'm gonna speak on this too, because I don't know what Rock did was like a. And Luis, you might agree with me on this, Luis. That was kind of a heel move what he did.
He smacked the shit out of Cody.
Yeah, but like Roman set it up, because it was like, I'm looking at the press conference and I'm thinking, okay, so Roman, you're gonna look Cody in the face and say and call his dad, his dad's dad. You're gonna look him in the face and call this man irrelevant. And then he throws a pot shot back at you, talking about how your grandfather be disappointed in you, seeing how you act. And then Rock, you get mad and you slap him? I mean, like, so it's okay for you to throw a shot at his daddy, but it's not okay for him to throw a shot at your family? I mean, that's kind of like that's a bit of a heel move right there. It wouldn't shock me at all if The Rock went to Triple H and was like, put me in this, make this a triple threat. Wouldn't shock me at all.
And we haven't seen a triple threat match since Randy Orton, John Cena, and Triple H.
Oh,
No. Daniel Bryan,
Batista, and Randy Orton.
Okay, Daniel Bryan.
No. Daniel Bryan, Roman, and Edge.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan, Roman, and Edge. That's right. 37. Yeah, WrestleMania 37. That's right.
Okay.
To me personally, the way how that, Frank, you might see this once I explain it. So the way how I looked at that press conference, as soon as Rock slapped Cody, I looked at it as Team Bloodline versus Team WWE. I'm looking at the part-timers versus the workhorses. That's the story that they're building. Because if we look at it from a kayfabe perspective, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes don't like each other. But as soon as Rock slapped Cody, Seth immediately jumped in and said, "You got no right to do that shit. Both of you guys are part-timers. Me and him are busting our ass off for the past 2 years, putting this company on our back. And you guys want to take the spotlight? I guarantee we're going to have a big tag match down the line where it's Team Bloodline versus the workhorses of WWE.
Do it at Elimination Chamber.
These would be the perfect teams. Rock, Roman, Jimmy Uso against Seth, Cody, and Jey Uso. That's got to be the tag match.
I think.
I
agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. But I think it's all the plot twists. I think it's all the plot twists.
Oh, Trey.
It's going to look like
this.
It's going to look like Rock is on the Bloodline side, but really he's going to screw Roman at the end and tell Cody, pin him. It's over. Pin him. 1, 2, 3. Cody wins. Roman Reigns loses. It's all the plot twist.
Well, then why would Rock talk all that shit then about Rhodes?
You got to listen to what Trey said. Mind
It's
games.
all. He's trying to make it seem like, yeah, I'm siding with the bloodline. I'm siding with them. I'm siding with the family. Really, he ain't, because he's sick of every
Oh,
week he has to sit at home listening to Roman Reigns say, "I'm the head of the table." But in the back
So,
of his mind, he's like, "No,
Roman
you
wasn't
ain't the
gonna have
head of
that
the
title.
table. I am the head of the table. I've
hey, let me ask you
always
something.
been the head of the
Frank.
table."
If that happens, can you see a main event between Rock and Roman Reigns at Backlash? If that is
No,
to happen at
No.
WrestleMania.
no.
I
Too
think
big. It's,
after this, I
No,
think
no,
after
no, no,
Roman
no, no.
loses, he's gonna take a long break from
yeah.
television.
That and my thing with this, I was one of those who was being an advocate for we should do Rock Roman at the Elimination Chamber. The reason why I said that was because I'm looking at it from a standpoint of the WWE is in such a boom period right now with their sales and the way they're profiteering, and the fact that the roster is just so damn stacked right now. I mean, the roster from top to bottom has just been putting in work. And the reason why I was an advocate for that at the Elimination Chamber was because I feel like the WWE is at a point now where it's like there are some, like, outside of like the Royal Rumbles, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, the only event outside of those four that we really kind of take seriously are like the Chamber and Money in the Bank. So I feel like if you did Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber, it would be a message to the entire wrestling industry saying, okay, I got a WrestleMania level main event that I'm putting on the show before WrestleMania. We're taking every single one of our premium live events dead serious from the standpoint of it doesn't matter when the event is going on. We can have a WrestleMania level main event for one of these, from one of like the B tier shows, just depending on, the storyline and the booking and how everything is going. I think I could legit see them doing Cody and Seth against Rock and Roman at Elimination Chamber. I know they originally said Roman wasn't going to do it, but if I'm Triple H, I'm looking at this and I'm digging in my bag. I'm making this happen for the Elimination Chamber. I mean, you got to have something to, because and with the time difference and everything for that event, you got to have something that's going to like draw them in to make people want to stay up and watch that. And Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman would be, even though it's not like a championship match, it's an eye catcher. People are going to pay attention to a match like that. I think it would be perfect to main event the Elimination Chamber. I think it would be absolutely perfect. You already got the balls. You already got the wheels turning. The ball is in Triple H's court right here. So now it's a matter of, is he going to make this happen? I think he should do it.
I think the general story that they're telling with the workhorses being tired of Roman being in every single main event, and now with Rock coming back, like inserting himself, like, oh, like I want to face Roman now because I can. I love that story because it feels real. Like it feels like they're actually saying what they want to say. Like
Exactly.
Like when Seth did that promo to Cody on Raw to try to have him face him at WrestleMania, the main thing he said, Roman's not here. That title has not meant anything. Has not meant anything the past 2 years. Ever since I won this, I have made this the title, the workhorse title. Now, obviously, Roman's championship is all about the money and everything, but I just love the general story that they're building, that the workhorses are trying to take over WWE. And they're getting sick and tired of a guy like Roman who wrestles like 3 times a year, taking their spotlight, taking their hard work away. And I love that. Love it.
And
And remember, I think it was the other night, and then Roman was like, "Oh, Seth don't get no pops." So Seth comes out there, right, and just to mess with Roman Reigns, the crowd starts cheering.
Got a
The
pop.
crowd starts cheering. He said, "That's a pop," and then they did it again. He's like, "That's another pop."
He got a pop, man. He got a pop. This story is so good. I'm really looking forward to the Elimination Chamber.
it's different. And yeah, like you said, Luis, it like the realism of it just is gonna the realism is just so, honestly, for wrestling, this is a story this is needed.
Because it's not fake. This is something
Exactly.
Seth Rollins is before he became World Heavyweight Champion. This is something he's been saying about Roman on actual interviews. Like, I don't like he's taking time off as champion. He should be here. Everybody deserves a champion that's here. And I love that. Because they're using what Seth has said in real interviews, how he actually feels into this. It's like, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
And
not to mention,
especially a lot of people, and I've heard this numerous times throughout the year. Like a lot of people calling Roman Reigns a hypocrite. Cause remember when he was talking about Brock and John Cena being part timers. Now all of a sudden you win. Now you're a part timer.
But you see, the main thing WWE is very good at is connecting the real world with the characters. Where Roman is at right now with the Tribal Chief gimmick, he don't got to be there every week because he done cleared everybody. So there's no point of him being there every week. So for him being a hypocrite, that plays into him being the Tribal Chief. It's like, well, am I really a hypocrite if I don't beat everybody? There ain't nobody left for me to face, so why should I show up?
Yeah,
not to mention, this validates a lot of the things that CM Punk was saying during that promo that he had with Cody Rhodes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So, Aiden, what do you think, brother?
Well, after WrestleMania is going to cause a lot of questions, especially because once Roman loses the title, our questions are going to be, what's going to happen to the bloodline? What's going to happen after that? Like, what story are we going to be building up next? And I know this might be kind of a funny, weird question. What's going to happen to Paul Heyman once Roman Reigns takes his big, long break? Like, what is he going to do?
Champ,
I've been thinking
about you to know as well. I think it's important for you to know as well. Is I showed you the graphic that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns has been made official, but in this story, like I said with the realism champ, they implemented CM Punk on the panel implemented. Well, Cody did make it official, but Punk was like, we all got to remember, Rock is on the board of directors.
Yeah,
he can do whatever he wants, and there's nothing anybody can say. So I think on this build up to this story to WrestleMania, he's going to abuse power like we've never seen before. Yeah. Abuse power.
Punk
try to keep the bloodline on
top. To answer A's question, and I saw this like a couple days ago. There's this guy out there on the free agent market that nobody's really talking about.
Umaga's son.
Jacob Fatu, Zilla Fatu.
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Now WWE could slide him in, bring him in there, and put him with Solo. And then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns decide, you know what? I want to come back. But when he comes back, Solo will start looking at Roman like, I don't got to take orders from you no more.
You're not the champ.
My God, can you imagine Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu side by side? Oh my God,
that would be amazing. Hey guys, hey man, look, go ahead, Aiden. Go ahead.
But also, Punk pointing out in the presser that once Rock, like if he was Cody Rhodes, whenever Rock slapped him, he would have fought him on the stage, like would have just beat him down. That's the good thing about Rock's heel character.
So hold on, Aiden, I want to answer Aiden.
This is going to be.
Oh, go ahead, Aiden. Keep going. My fault.
But this is going to be a really, really good match, especially if this turns into a triple threat or a tag match. But pointing out to what you guys were saying earlier about the tag match, where would they put that on the card? Because I still think they want Seth Rollins to defend his championship, and I think he can still defend it against Drew McIntyre because they're kind of building that story of him and Rollins too.
I think
versus Seth is the Mania match.
Any tag match should main event Elimination Chamber. Any tag match should main event Elimination Chamber.
Drew versus Seth, that's the Mania match.
Yeah, that's probably
100% the Mania match. I want to answer Aiden's question though, because he did bring up a good point that a lot of people have been asking. I'm sorry, champ. I know we're.
Oh, it's all good. We got time, bro.
But I want to answer Aiden's question because he said after Roman loses the championship, what story are they building next? They've already been building the story. I don't know if y'all seen, but Sami Zayn wants to be a main eventer. He wants
Yeah.
to be a true main eventer. What I think is going to happen, Sami Zayn. I said
Sami
it.
Zayn doesn't have a really interesting story though.
Let me get there. Sami Zayn wants to be a main eventer. Sami Zayn wants to be a solo main eventer and show that he can be that guy. The one chance he had was against Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins gave him that title shot. He lost a layup. Seth was hurt, and he still lost that match. Then he faces Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre takes a month out of his career. Sami Zayn beats Drew McIntyre. He's going to be on a very good path. What I think is going to happen is this entire year is going to be a build-up for Sami Zayn to win the Rumble. Who's going to be the champion by then? The big, bad boss, Gunther. It'll be Gunther and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 41 for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Louis pushing Gunther for champion hard, bro.
Hey,
when it
why
happens,
not?
I promise you, I will be here.
He deserves. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. He deserves a world title run. He really does.
When I tell you,
That
if
man
it
is the
happens, I'm
ring
going to be on
down
everybody's
for the reason.
podcast. But I'm gonna get a custom Gunther World Heavyweight Title shirt made. I'm gonna come up here.
Luis, that man's the ring general for a reason.
That's my ring general right there.
Hey guys, let's take a break from wrestling real quick and go back to the NFL awards. Kevin Stefanski has just won NFL Coach of the Year.
Oh,
that's another. Hey,
that's another deserving candidate. Hey man,
he was my pick. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was.
Give it to Harbaugh.
This is second award.
Yeah. That's the second one. He won for he won 2022, I think. He won the 2021 season. He won for the 2021 season.
He won the playoffs for Baker Mayfield.
He won the 2021 season.
I'm sorry to say Harbaugh and Campbell got snubbed.
Who got snubbed?
It's well deserved, but Harbaugh and Campbell had were better at getting that chance. I think
you gotta look at the.
They were really good coaches.
No, you have to look at the circumstances. Cleveland was down Nick Chubb. Cleveland was also down Amari Cooper for a lot of games. And Cleveland was also they were also on 4 quarterbacks. They were on Deshaun Watson, DTR, PJ Walker, and Joe Flacco off the couch. And they still went 11-5.
Joe Flacco's the only person that kind of carried that team.
No.
Yeah, I gotta. Yes. You gotta. Yeah.
Defense did a lot. Defense did a lot of that too, Aiden.
Yeah, I think Kevin Stefanski.
Myles Garrett and Joe Flacco. Those two people that are probably the people that helped the team and carried it.
Which is honestly why Kevin Stefanski deserves this. Yeah, I mean Kevin Stefanski for me was the only coach for this award. Yeah, I mean. Because Myles Garrett showed out, and Joe Flacco. But where was Joe Flacco before, a month and a half, 2 months left in the season? He was nowhere to be found. So Kevin Stefanski was the only one for me to win this award. I mean, this award was his the minute Joe Flacco was inserted into the starting lineup and started winning games, and just it almost like it kind of galvanized the team, and he was still doing his thing as far as
If I'm Cleveland, though, what Joe Flacco did this year, it opens up a lot for your offense. Because even though Joe Flacco had a lot of turnovers, we see how scary Cleveland is when they have a quarterback who can push that ball down the field. And I think Cleveland is monitoring that. I would not be surprised. They're a sleeper team to take a quarterback, no matter how much money they're paying Deshaun Watson. They're a sleeper team to get a quarterback.
Okay, I'm looking.
All right, guys, let's get back to WrestleMania. What is another match that we should be looking forward to outside of the main event?
Can I answer this?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
For me personally, the match that needs to happen at WrestleMania, and it has the story written all over it, is Gunther versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental Championship. The way first things first, they're 1-1. Chad Gable beat Gunther by countout.
Hey guys, wait a minute.
Tony Khan. Let me find out this is Kieran.
Somebody trolling. I know that's you, Kieran. You ain't worth a quarter. You ain't worth a quarter. Kieran, I know that's you. You ain't worth a quarter.
Oh my God.
You were saying,
hey, Frank, I blame you for this. Because remember
Why?
what happened? No, I blame you for this.
This is
we
not
was
my
on.
fault.
Come on, Frank. Come
This
on,
is
No.
Frank.
not
You gotta
my
do better,
fault.
Frank.
No,
Don't
we
you,
was on.
don't you blame that Lamar Jackson moment on me. That is not my fault. That
We
is
had the
not
same
my
thing happen on
fault.
Come
TikTok
on,
Live.
Frank. That's on you, Frank. Do better, man.
Man, no, that is not. I cannot control the craziness and the foolishness that be coming out of these people's mouths and what they be typing in these chats. That is not my fault.
That is the
You be
funniest.
antagonizing it. That's what you be doing. You be antagonizing it, Frank.
What? Hey, I mean, on the bright side, somebody got to do it though. But I don't. But sometimes I forget that some of these people will actually take it there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my mind just ain't. It ain't in sync. Sometimes.
Karen, I know that's you.
That
I'm gonna
gotta
get you
be
when we
Karen.
get. I'm gonna get you when we get back to the chat.
Gotta be
So-
Kieran. I swear that's Kieran.
So,
But
Oh,
like I
my
said,
God.
like
Oh
I
my
said, for
God,
me,
that is funny.
like I said, I'm gonna make it quick. So for me, it's Chad Gable versus Gunther. The reason I say Chad Gable versus Gunther because I feel like one, this is a perfect opportunity to take the belt off of Gunther for him to make the jump to the World Heavyweight Championship title scene. But if we look at it from a story perspective, they're 1-1. Chad Gable won by count out the first match. Gunther won cleanly the second match. And if you look at the interview Chad Gable did after the second match, Chad Gable verbatim said, "I'll do anything and everything it takes to get another shot at Gunther. He made my freaking kids cry and he humiliated them. I will do anything it takes to get after Gunther again. And I promise you, I will take that IC championship from him." Do you know how we make that match happen? Gunther's like, "Okay, I'll give you one more shot at me at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. But you, Chad Gable, since I think Alpha Academy is a disgrace to pro wrestling," because he said that, since I think Alpha Academy is a disgrace to pro wrestling, if I beat you, Alpha Academy leaves WWE forever.
Ooh.
Career title. Don't
Oh
get
my
much
God.
better than that.
Oh my God.
hey, WWE, you need to look into making Louise the Booker real soon. So, what about you? Frank?
Okay. So I got an idea, and this may come out of left field, but there was a particular interview that I saw, and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so all right, so this women's elimination chamber is coming up with the winner, winner being the number one contender and gonna face Rhea at WrestleMania, right? So everybody's just thinking it's a shoe-in that Becky Lynch is gonna do this and she's gonna get that spot at WrestleMania. A sleeper for me, and their storyline with it and everything. Do not be shocked if Liv Morgan wins the Elimination Chamber and faces Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
No.
Because there is story there. Rhea's the one that, because Rhea and Liv were a tag team. Rhea's the one that turned on Liv. Rhea's the one that put Liv out for like close to a year. There's story there. And in that interview she cut where she said, her business is revenge, and her revenge is Rhea Ripley. Do not be shocked if Liv Morgan, she's facing Zoe Stark next week in a qualifying match.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's probably gonna win. Do not be shocked if Liv Morgan wins the Elimination Chamber and faces Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, because I think, in my opinion, the most built-in story would be that matchup for WrestleMania. Me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Don't be surprised if Liv Morgan wins the Chamber. I'm just saying.
Trey?
Match outside of the main event of WrestleMania. And I've been thinking real hard about this one. But I'm gonna actually go with a certain two individuals who just don't happen to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. And they had a little stare down.
You talking
I'm
nasty. Talking nasty.
If you say what you about to say,
Bianca
take my money.
Belair versus Jade Cargill.
Trey.
Take my money. If that match happens, take my money.
Why? Because
that match's gonna be fire if it does happen.
Take my money.
those two, when they had that little moment in the ring, I said, "Yep, they are already teasing it. They gave you a little snippet of it." But I think my thing is who's gonna be. I don't know if Bianca's gonna be. I think Bianca's gonna be the face, and Jade is gonna be the heel.
Okay. 80. What match outside of the main event that you would like?
I think this match is going to be an interesting match. Everybody else is going for a match that hasn't been announced yet or think that is going to happen in WrestleMania. A match that I'm really excited for, and I think Luis could agree with me on this one, Bayley versus Io Sky.
Okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Whatever match Jade Cargill is, I will be watching that match. So,
hey Frank, another thing I've been saying too. Hey Frank, another match I've been saying too. I've been saying DIY is gonna face Judgment Day at WrestleMania, get them titles, and you know how big of a Johnny Gargano fan I am.
Yes,
He's my second favorite wrestler of all time.
Yes,
if I see Johnny Gargano at a WrestleMania win them tag titles with Tommaso Ciampa, I might come on this podcast bawling my eyes out.
Bro, I'm about to say, I was, you know what? I'm thinking about that. No, I was thinking about that too. Like, bro, if Johnny Gargano wins if him and Tommaso Ciampa win the undisputed tag team titles at WrestleMania, I was like, boy, Luis might bust out crying. Like, straight up.
Bro, I will bawl my eyes out in happiness, bro.
He really might bust out crying because I remember I remember all the NXT content you did, and I remember how much you, bro. Oh my God, Johnny Gargano is his dude, bro. So man, yeah.
I'm scream. But I'm hoping for Awesome Truth though, because they have a great story with Judgment Day. I'm hoping Awesome Truth.
You know,
man,
I would like that too, to be honest with you.
Hey man, there's always the road to WrestleMania. There's always good football, but we got to talk about one thing before we end it all. One player, and one player only. Hey, got his statue today. And that one player is Kobe Bryant. He finally got his statue today. Got not one, but 3. So, I mean, hey, man, when I was growing up, I have to say this. When I was growing up, Kobe Bryant was one of my favorite players growing up. I still have his Adidas in my closet as we speak right now. Yes, I got the Adidas that he has, the Kobe ones, the crazy ones that they call them right now. I still have them in my closet, man. And I remember watching that game I remember watching all 3 finals in which he three-peated with Shaq. I remember the road for him coming back to the finals, him finally beating Boston, and him finally getting over the hump and getting that first one against Orlando. Not to mention, man, Kobe was one of the greatest players of all time to me. And not only that, man, I feel like when Kobe came into the league, man, I'm not going to lie. When he came into the league in 96, I was 9 years old. And as he grew as a basketball player, I kind of felt like I grew with him. It's just like, from 96, like I said, from 96 all the way up to when he left the league, I felt like I grew up with Kobe. It's like we saw him grow right before our eyes, from the guy who couldn't get 2 minutes inside the Lakers game, who was on the bench behind Eddie Jones. And we thought that Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel was going to be those next guys. And then Kobe just emerges out of the bunch. And I remember all of that, man. And I'll never forget a lot of the big clutch shots that he had. And the fact that he did not win but won MVP isn't injustice to me personally, but people don't understand this. Back during certain times, he was not always a media darling, and we know the reason why. We're going to keep it rated G, considering our audience and who we have on the show. So we already know why he wasn't, one of the reasons why he wasn't a media darling, but another reason is they accused him of, running Shaq out of town, running Phil Jackson out of town, getting guys just flat up out of there. So, hey, man, for him to be getting a statue, especially losing him tragically to the helicopter crash, this is a memorable moment. in my humble opinion. Not to mention, it's a great moment. Kobe deserves it. One of the greatest players in Laker history. Not going to say the greatest. I will reserve that right for Kareem and Magic. But, hey, man, arguably one of the greatest players of all time as far as in the Laker organization and in the NBA. And one quick second, let's go back to the NFL awards. Christian McCaffrey has officially won the Offensive Player of the Year award. Hell of a job.
Yep.
Well
Great
deserved,
pick. Great
considering
pick.
that he did have 2,000 yards from scrimmage
Great
and
pick.
over 21 touchdowns. So, hey, man, hell of a job to Christian McCaffrey. Good luck in the Super Bowl this year. But back to Kobe. Hey, man, look, I will go to each of y'all, starting with my main man, Frank. How do you feel about Kobe finally getting a statue outside of Crypto Arena? Well, Staples Center, man. Staples Center. I'm not
Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? I know, right? I will not call that place Crypto.com Arena. That is Staples Center to me. I am not calling it that. That is Staples Center. I am not calling it that. But this is what I'll say on Kobe Bryant. I think I have only, like, as far as like a celebrity's death, I think I've only cried at like maybe a few celebrities' deaths. And Kobe Bryant was one I literally kind of shed a couple of tears on because like like when he was drafted, like I was okay, so Kobe Bryant was the 96 draft. So I was so I hadn't turned 11 yet. I was 10. And just like I mean, I knew he was going to be a good player, but I didn't think he was going to turn into what he did. And just watching just the maturation process, watching him grow up, his highs, his lows, and seeing what he ultimately became, and especially even after he retired before, that unfortunate day in 2020, he is like the as far as the shooting guard position, he is the closest thing we're probably ever going to see to Michael Jordan. I think, I mean, just like it was so fun. It was so fun watching him play because it's like he could have like a horrible shooting game like the first 3 quarters, and then when that fourth quarter come, and you just like, all right, I'm waiting for him. He ain't had a good game, but this the fourth quarter, I'm waiting on him. And it's like he always just found a way, no matter how bad of a game he had, to make something of it in the fourth quarter. Like he just had this will to just like I loved his mentality. I loved the way he played. I mean, I just loved just the passion he had for basketball. And then, but I think what really takes it over the top for me with Kobe. I'm a girl dad. I have a daughter. So to see him with the girl dad hashtag with his girls and the way he always talked about his daughters and how he just admired his daughters, and just seeing the kind of man he became, and just when that happened, it was heartbreaking for so many people who grew up watching that man play basketball. And just he most definitely deserves to have those statues and to be immortalized, because he is an icon he's an icon to the world of sports. And it's just they're not going to be there out. Will there be another like Kobe Bryant, like in his image? I don't know. He's like one of these once in a lifetime personalities that just like they don't come around like that. And it's just he was just a different level of just greatness on the court. But like I said, it was his maturation, being a father, that kicked my respect level for him like through the roof. And just whatever awards and just honors that he gets post posthumously is just he deserves. And just shout outs to his family. I'm always thinking about his family, seeing them still kind of pushing forward without him and Gianna. That hurt me too. That hurt me so much. Just that I like I just think the world of that man, and just whatever honors he gets from that, like posthumously, is just keep them coming for that man. He deserves everything. Kobe Bryant is just another level of how you should represent yourself on and off the court, especially after everything he went through early in his career that we're not going to talk about. Just yeah.
So let's take a break from that real quick, and we're going to go back. Thanks to the little homie Aiden, we have got the class of 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Randy Gradishaw, Patrick Willis, Steve Mongo McMichael from the Chicago Bears, Devin Hester, and finally, Julius Pepper. That's a Hall of Fame player. Not to mention, man, two players from where? The U. Hey, man, look here. I got to, hey, man, since Aiden, you broke that news for us first, man, what do you think about that Hall of Fame class, little brother?
I think it's pretty good. I know some players. I don't know some of them. The ones I know, Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Patrick Willis, Devin Hester, Julius Peppers are probably the ones that I know. They deserve it, to be honest, but the other guys, I don't know. I think this is a good class, to be honest.
Go ahead, Trey.
I'm getting on TikTok. I'm getting on everybody's head who was talking about, oh, well, Devin Hester's a special teamer. Special teamer doesn't mean as much to the league as what it once did. Who was it that brought shout out my boy Jackie Boy Sports, because he brought this point up. The 2010 San Diego Chargers had the number one offense and the number one defense. And why did they miss the playoffs? Because their special teams was god awful.
You might well just should have had me out there.
They were garbage. And the fact that Devin Hester and if he, I don't know if he sees this, but I'm calling him out. I had a debate with the homie. I follow him, Game Point Live. I had a debate with the homie. He said Devin Hester wasn't going to get in the Hall of Fame. So I'm getting on everybody's heads about this one who didn't think Devin Hester deserved to get in the Hall of Fame simply because he wasn't as good of a wide receiver and had to convert to special teams. I'm getting on everybody's head about this one.
Well,
hey, Trey, what do you think, brother?
Well, if you look at this class, I'm gonna break these guys down individually. You got Dwight Freeney, who I respect his game, but when we used to play against him, I hated this guy. It's like, bro, him with that spin move. Oh my God. I was like, bro, can somebody block this man? I hated that guy. Of course, Andre Johnson, the first franchise player that the Houston Texans has ever had. I'm not surprised. You know, you got Randy Gradishaw from the Orange Crush. Congratulations to him. And hey, we got the only player that I will put in the same sentence as Ray Lewis and Patrick Willis right here. I ain't gotta speak on what he did. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as well. Steve McMichael from the 85 Bears. Oh, yes. That dude was a problem, but Devin Hester, the greatest returner of all time. Yes, he deserves to be here. And Julius Peppers. Oh, my God. What?
As a Falcons fan, I couldn't stand seeing that man on the football field.
Yeah, I hated Julius.
I couldn't.
No, it wasn't even just him in Carolina. You know, you gotta think about it. He went to Chicago and Green Bay and was still producing,
still balling.
Hey, not to mention, man, the first player to ever play in the Final Four and play in the Super Bowl, Julius Peppers. Shout out to the North Carolina Tar Heels, man. Hey. You got to give credit where credit is due. One of the most athletic guys we're ever going to see play at the defensive end position. For him to be that big, I think he was 6'8".
He was 6'6", 280. He was 6'6", 285.
God,
that's a monster.
Good God, that's a monster.
6'6", 285. Being able to move. I mean, Julius Peppers was J.J. Watt before J.J. Watt. The way Carolina used him at his peak. This man, they're running zone blitzes with this
You
man.
mean to tell me
This man is
this
covering.
man
This
got
man's covering in the.
power?
This man covering in the flat. This man running down Michael Vick of all people. The man was a freak of nature. Freak of nature.
You
I'm
mean to
happy.
tell me this man's like 6'6", 280, and he can hoop? Oh,
Yeah, he played in the Final Four. I think wasn't him and Jared Stackhouse on the same team?
I
Him and Rasheed
believe so.
White?
I
I
think
think
that was
so.
him. No, I think that was him and Ronald Curry.
Oh, my
Okay.
bad.
Ronald Curry. Yeah. Okay. I knew it was one of them. I think, yeah. I knew it was one of them.
So,
But yeah, well deserved. And shout out to the homie Dwight Freeney. People always want to harp on 28-3 with us in 2016. Dwight Freeney was on that squad that got to the Super Bowl for the Falcons. Shout out to him. I love seeing him. I love seeing him get in. I think for like a good God, you got to say a good decade plus. If he wasn't the best defensive end in the league, he was never short of top 3. The man was a beast.
hey, man, one person that I'm glad to see is probably before you guys' time. Shout out to my father. He told me about him. Hey, Randy Gradishar, man. This guy was one of the first linebackers that ever played in the 3-4 defense back in the 70s. And for you to be considered one of the best linebackers during the 70s, when you had guys like Jack Ham, Andy Russell,
Yeah, the 70s were insanely strong.
Jack Lambert, you had guys like that, not to mention Hollywood Henderson. For you to be considered on the same echelon as those guys is flat out amazing. And let's not forget who else was on that team as well on the Orange Crush. Hey, man, everybody remembers the great Tom Jackson, man. Tom Jackson wasn't no joke either. The Louisville Cardinal, man. And if you don't know who Tom Jackson is, that was he used to be the commentator for NFL Live every Monday night, man. They need to bring him back as far as I'm concerned, because I missed the way Tom Jackson used to break it down, man. Tom Jackson wasn't no joke.
For me, I'm incredibly excited to see Devin Hester. I was actually debating in a Facebook group that I'm in, and somebody mentioned like Devin Hester didn't deserve to be in because of his touchdowns and he wasn't that great. What I always tell people is you can't tell the game of football without the GOATs in each position. So if you're talking about the game of football, or if you're telling a story about the game of football, you're gonna bring up the greatest quarterback of all time, which is Tom Brady. You're gonna bring up the greatest running backs of all time, the greatest wide receivers of all time. You cannot tell the game of football without the greatest return man of all time. That's why he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's literally the greatest return man of all time. You can't do that. But yeah, this is where I get mad. Free him, please. Put him in. Put another spot in. Please put him in. Why? Why every year do they do this to me? Why? What did he do wrong?
Well, I would just say this when it comes to Torrey Holt. I knew he was gonna get. When I saw the finalists, I said, "Wait a minute, they got Andre Johnson up here."
They got Andre Johnson, but not Torrey Holt.
I was like, he ain't getting in. I just knew it.
I get if we're talking about peak, I get it. But Torrey Holt in his peak was the definition of consistency for a wide receiver at that time.
But
like
it's
six, 7 straight 1,300 yard. That's the most consecutive in NFL history. That is insane to me. Insane.
But let the casual fans tell you, he only got that because he played with Isaac.
No.
You can make a case who's better than Isaac.
You can make a case he's better than Isaac. So
listen. He made the Pro Bowl 7 times, retired top 10 all-time receiving yards, and 6 straight consecutive 1,300-yard years. That screams Hall of Fame to me. First team All-Pro, second team All-Pro. That NFL receptions leader, like, man, I don't understand, man. I don't understand.
Yeah,
you can't write the history of the greatest show on turf without.
It's not just him though. It's not just him there. I feel like they got snubbed. I felt like, man, I don't know what.
Antonio Gates should have been first ballot. That's insane.
Yeah,
Antonio Gates didn't make it in.
Reggie Wayne got it. Reggie Wayne has a good case.
Reggie Wayne didn't make it. And the one person who I did make it, I felt, man, I don't know what the NFL got against Rodney Harrison, but dog, I remember playing against that dude when he was in New England. I ain't kind of see him when he was in San Diego. I saw him when he was in New England, and I was like, bro, this dude. I hate this dude. I can't stand him.
Oh, he was good. I'll tell you this about him. He was really good in New England, but his San Diego days, oh my god. His
He
San
was,
Diego days, he was arguably best safety in the league in San Diego days.
but not only that, the reason why they keep snubbing him because people, number one, you had steroid allegation. Remember, he got suspended for steroids that one time. Not to mention, he was deemed by many as a dirty player. So, he was deemed by many as a dirty player. So that's the reason probably why he's not in the Hall of Fame right now. That's the reason why it took Alex Kerr so long for him to get into the Hall of Fame. So, but on that note, hey man, Hall of Fame class. Hey, look out TikTok. You're gonna see some videos soon from the Undisputed Champ. Y'all know what it is.
You're gonna see one from BR. You're gonna see one from me too. I'm getting on some heads about Devin Hester.
Hey, look out for BRL Sports, man. Hey man, keep them videos coming, man. Hey, like I said, but back to Kobe, bro. What about you, Louise?
Man, first things first, that statue they made, that's beautiful. That's a very beautiful statue I seen. Very, very, very nice. I remember the day he unfortunately had the accident. I was in a room with an old friend. It was in my bedroom. We were debating about basketball or something. And I was just like, man, you talking crazy. Let me search up Kobe stats real quick. And I didn't have ESPN or Bleacher Report, no news outlets on my phone. So I thought I was just gonna go ahead check Kobe stats just to debunk him, And I read a report. Oh, Kobe was involved in a helicopter crash. I was like, man, what do you mean Kobe, man? Like Kobe Bryant? So I'm reading the TMZ article and I'm like shit went south. Because Kobe, to all of us, felt like he was immortal. Like, that's the vibe that he gave off. He was immortal. He didn't feel human. He felt beyond human. And it didn't really hit me until more news came out that he was on the plane with Gianna. And that part really has me choked up because I have a little sister myself. I have a 14-year-old little sister. And I couldn't imagine what Vanessa and Natalia and the rest of his kids were going through hearing that news. Because if I hear something about that by my little sister, I'm going crazy. Not gonna lie. So my thoughts on Kobe, he was just a different breed. There's no other way to describe Kobe. Like, I compare Kobe to athletes like GSP, to athletes like John Jones. Like, Kobe had this mentality where he just wanted to get better at every aspect of basketball. And we don't see that mentality nowadays. A lot of players, the skill set we see now, they're going to keep that skill set because they're comfortable with it. But Kobe, for some reason, just always just wanted to be just great at everything else. He wanted to have a good three-pointer, wanted to have a good mid-range, wanted to have good. He wanted to be good in the post. He wanted to have good footwork. He wanted to be better on defense. He just had this mentality where he just had to be better everywhere. And as a competitor, you just have no choice but to admire and respect the tenacity Kobe brought every single night. For him to be a basketball player on top of the world, winning the championships that he did, and say to himself, I still want to be better at this game. I know I can be better. While a lot of basketball players, where they see their skill set and they say, nah, man, I think I'm good where I'm at. The fact that he always wanted to be better says a lot about him. And it showed that you can always work on your craft and be better. And Kobe, as a competitor, as a role model, as a basketball player, as an ambassador, you cannot say bad things about Kobe Bryant. That man was the face of a generation for a lot of people. Like, Kobe is an icon, and that tribute they did at the Staples Center with that statue was a beautiful statue, man. That was such a beautiful statue. But Kobe, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, top 10 in my opinion, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. You can't say enough good things about Kobe Bryant. Like, I'm pretty sure we could do a whole podcast talk about Kobe Bryant and the things he's done in his career. He's phenomenal.
Okay. Aiden?
I think all of us unanimously on this panel can agree that Kobe Bryant was one of the greatest of all time. To be honest, he was one of the uh, uh, greatest of all time basketball players. He is one of the goats, and I actually read a book about Kobe, and I can't remember much of it because but Kobe, according to most players, Kobe was seen in the gym every night, every morning, mostly all the time, working his ass off all the time. So him getting that statue, it's deserved, man. Especially with how much of a great of career he had. Uh, I think he deserves it, and he's one of the greatest players of all time. There's no question about it.
Awesome. Trey.
Well, that as far as like Kobe, that was I really like the statue that they made. And I saw the first one, and the one they had outside. I was like, that's it. That's the one y'all gonna present. Then they was like, no, it's two more that they have, and they showed the one where they had the one where he scored the 81 where he put his finger up in the air because he scored the 81. I was like, okay. I actually like that one. That one was pretty dope. I like
Mm-hmm.
that one. But I remember that as far as like the day he passed, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was at somebody's house and somebody was like, somebody was telling me like, Kobe was in a helicopter accident. I was like, helicopter accident, and y'all probably saw this like the night before he was in Philly. The night before when the Lakers played the 76ers. So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. Like, Kobe was in a helicopter accident. How? I just saw him the night before. And they was like, yep, he was in a helicopter accident. And Kobe was always, he didn't care whether you loved him or you hate him. He was going to do his job. That was what he did best. He did his job. And as far as him, he is one of the greatest players I ever saw play. And the one thing that went through my mind was I was like, okay, that's why I always tell people, you better enjoy your Michael Jordan, enjoy your LeBrons, cause once they gone, they gone.
Facts.
That's absolutely correct. Facts. Hey, and with that being said, shout out to Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean Bryant, man. Hey, a lot of great memories from my childhood and my adulthood. Saw you win your last championship when I came home from my last tour on the Army. Last tour, came home, saw you win your last championship. Hell of a memory for myself. Hey, but with that being said, man, that concludes the Undisputed GOAT podcast round 3. Round 4, you'll be in store for it next week after the Super Bowl. So, with that being said, tell the people, tell my great city where to follow you at this point. Tell the city of Columbus where to follow y'all at this point. We'll start with you, Aiden.
Follow me on Instagram, Aiden_Coleman. TikTok is just Aiden Coleman. No space in between the middle. The Twitter, Aiden_Coleman. And then those are basically the ones I could shout out.
My main man from Madison, Georgia. Tell the great city of Columbus, Georgia, and all over the world where to follow you.
Well, like I say, always, it's always a pleasure to be on here doing this good work with you, my homie Champ, and also shout out to you, Luis. Keep doing your thing, and nice to finally meet you, Aiden. Love talking sports with you. My link tree is in my bio, my TikTok page, Big Shug 1122. I always push the Twitter, the IG, of course the TikTok and the Facebook page. But y'all just find my link tree in the bio. It's got all the links posted up there. And as I always say, a topic not thought about is a topic not talked about.
Yes, indeed. And last, but definitely not least, straight out of Miami, my boy Louis.
I'm from Miami. I didn't even know that.
I'm just messing with you, man.
I might as well be at this point, man. I might as well be.
Straight out of Miami.
I might as well be. Man, appreciate you, champ. You know, it's been a rough 24 hours for me, so I appreciate you letting me on. It was really fun today. Cartoon TikTok, Lewis Knows Tunes. Sports TikTok, Super Mighty Mouse Lou. Follow me on Instagram, Lewis Knows Tunes. It's always an honor and pleasure to support Champ and be on this podcast. It's been really, really fun. Shout out to Frank, shout out to Aiden, and shout out to everybody else that came on today, man.
And finally, shout out to the great city of Columbus, Georgia, the greatest city in America today. Hey, man, respect that dub, respect the South Side and the North Side and Uptown, downtown, all around, man. Hey, make sure you go downtown for First Friday as well if they still doing that. Don't know if they still doing it or not, but shout out to downtown as well, man. Like I say, it may not mean much to the world, but Columbus means the world to me. So with that being said, that concludes the Undisputed Sports Podcast, and we are out. Shout out to PSP and shout out to the chat. We will holler at y'all.